say a bit about yourself, Omerta.
Hiya. I'm a UK Siege coach for Horus Esports. Previously from UK Premiership Season 4, but we've dropped out now because we're a bit botty. We've just taken a little bit of a step backwards to reshape our roster after a few roster changes and things like that.
Yeah,
Aiming for the next Challenger League season, which will be Season 11, the qualifiers.
yeah. Obviously, you do always have good teams. Like you've got good players such as Western still. Uh,
Uh,
you...
Weston's no longer with us.
Oh
No,
wait, no,
Weston's
I haven't
yeah.
read up on that.
So to avoid any confusion, the two we have two players from our original roster who
Mm,
played in UK Premiership last season, which is still Kixer and Joker, both
okay.
really good players, like some top UK Siege players. We have moved across IV, who became our sixth recently. He played with us at Insomnia 65.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a
Yeah,
like
obviously you
fill-in
won that.
basically for Tristan. Yeah, and then obviously since then we've decided to go separate ways with a few players. Just a whole professional thing. We're all still friends, you know. We still play other games together and play
Yeah,
Siege together when we do play. But yeah, it's a totally separate thing now. So Weston and Tristan are both players from our main lineup previously for CL qualifiers who have left us.
yeah,
Hopefully, you'll be going on to
yeah.
do something else, like when they're more available.
There it is. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Mainly, today we're mainly here to talk about how coaches specifically are important to players in the competitive scene of Siege.
Yeah, I mean, I think that coaching is probably one of the most important things for any tier of Siege that's above sort of playing with friends
Yeah,
for competitive. So like essentially when you like think about what a coach does, a coach is kind of like a key player really for the team in terms of they understand exactly what the team is trying to do in terms of its strategies or like its progression essentially.
yeah,
um, and it's all about kind of working hard to try and get players to perform to the best that they can, whether that be via mental coaching or like little macro things where you're looking at like a player's mechanical skill, or you're like looking at improving their aim, or you're looking at improving their knowledge of certain aspects of the game. For instance, like a frag grenade spot that you might see, or the typical coconut bra Valkyrie camera.
oh yeah,
Just anything like that, you know, that's like an aspect of what a coach's job is.
yeah,
But the broader picture of it is just having a person who is in charge of everything that the team does, you know, like a person who, regardless of the actual lineup of players, is like one key kind of linchpin figure that is, you know, like an overall like kind of manager really of everything that's going on within the team.
yeah. Obviously, like you have to do a lot of things such as group coaching and stuff. Instead of just focusing on like players, you have to make your team work in unison. And obviously, that's a day-to-day thing for you. Obviously, you must be getting a lot of practice in with the team, telling them what they can do better, trying to get them working in unison.
Yeah, that's right. I think that there's a lot of differences within like managing a group of players as opposed to like focusing on like one individual player. I tend to prefer to focus on coaching as a team as opposed to like one-to-one
Yeah,
coaching. However, like one-to-one coaching is something that I do an
yeah,
element of, obviously, as part of my job within the team. Like if there's a specific thing that one player needs to know, then obviously I do look at like helping that one player to be able to do that one specific thing better. But it's so important that everybody in the team understands what everybody is doing at kind of all times within the round.
yeah,
So that way you can, you know, maybe swap roles around if you need to, or you can just make sure that a player's in the right position to cut another player's rotate or something like that. So it's really important that everyone has an understanding of what everyone else is doing. I think the most important aspect of a coach really is just is like having access to lots of different VODs from other teams, whether it be
yeah,
from other teams at the same level as yourselves, or whether it's your own team's VODs, where you're like watching back and seeing where things have gone wrong and where you can correct mistakes, or where you could have done something maybe differently, or where another team did something really well against you and beat you, and then
Yeah.
it gives you a more of an understanding of where you can improve, or where there might be a hole in your strat, or where you can make some small changes. But it could also be like a pro league VOD, and I feel like if more of like lower tier coaches like myself
Mm.
um, spent more time watching more pro league VODs and really understanding what was
Yeah.
going on within them with the team, as opposed to just the coach itself watching it, then I feel like you can get a lot of stuff done a lot quicker. Like, it's one of these things where, like, trying to gain relevant experience for like competitions like Challenger League,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really quite difficult for a player from like just a national league such as UK Premiership or Spanish Nationals or the PG Nationals in Italy,
Yeah,
because
100%.
those
Like you do need to learn about the experience, and obviously, as you said, like
that's right, yeah.
watching it with your team also broadens the horizon. That shows them, and you can discuss what they're doing right to get these wins, and try and implement some of the things they're doing into your strats and stuff, but not entirely the same.
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly
yeah,
right. I mean, sometimes it's a case of doing it exactly the same, because
yeah,
if a team is doing something the best possible way that you can do it, that just becomes the meta. That becomes what every team does. So if you take a map, for example, like Clubhouse, um, you're seeing a lot of things right now being banned, like Capital or Maverick, and the reason why those bans become kind of meta bans for that map is because they greatly impact the way that certain sites can be
yeah.
attacked and can be
Obviously,
defended.
Mav with cash room, you know.
Yeah, it
Uh,
makes the site a lot less playable, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%, because obviously you're gonna get lines of sight onto their feet and their legs, and obviously picking up easy kills, and it's
That's
eliminating
exactly right.
bandit tricking and all that, and obviously
Yeah,
the
that's
bans are,
exactly what it does,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, so like bans are like really, really important, I think, as an aspect to competitive Siege, which is something that's very different to like some other games, I guess. Even though you have other games like Overwatch where they have protect phases
yeah,
and they can pick operators, so heroes in Overwatch's
and
case
then
that they want to keep.
and
But
then you get
overall,
other
their
games such
strategy.
as CS:GO, which just have 16 rounds, and
Yeah,
then yeah, oh, I
yeah,
could
I think
not
for
deal
them
with
it's
that.
more about
Yeah,
positioning, and it's about smokes and team coordination,
yeah,
refragging, and like in cutting rotates. Like, it's all really important stuff, and a lot of that does come into Siege specifically as well.
yeah.
But like,
Obviously
what is
with
unique to
game
Siege is the
sense,
operator mechanic.
and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
The
sure. I
operator
mean,
mechanic is definitely the number one play point for Siege and objective. And
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's going to be really interesting actually with the new season of Ranked, since they've changed the plant time from 4 seconds to 7 seconds. It will
yeah,
actually change the way how like it. In my opinion, it will change the way attacking will be done in quite a
yeah,
lot of maps. So like, if you look at Bank, for example, the bottom floor site, before you could be kind of uncoordinated but still get a plant down, because
yeah,
the smoke player might miss a smoke, and because he missed that smoke, you have enough time in that 4 seconds to just stick a plant.
yeah,
Or someone might miss a C4, or they will C4, and then you'll just replant afterwards. But like, now it's 7 seconds, it's more like competitive, and because
yeah.
of that,
That
you
that's what
work well
I've
together as a team.
yeah, that's what I've seen more. That ranked is essentially trying to become a miniature competitive, but still you've got to think it's ranked. So we're still gonna have people doing
Yeah,
all that dumb shit like running in, just trying to go for the kills, really.
yeah, just doing a kickser, just doing a prime kickser. No,
Yeah.
really,
Oh wow! I
it's
think he's in the chat as
he
well.
probably is. He loves it. Like,
Oh, he
he
is.
wouldn't
He's in the
he wouldn't even
chat.
agree. He knows I won't play
Oh.
rank with him because I tilt. I get too tilted if I play with the boys, because they're like, amazing UK players, right? But every time
Yeah.
I play with them, bots.
Whoa. Oh,
But
we're
yeah,
seeing some toxic in the chat,
yeah,
some kappa.
I'm
Oof.
sure.
Oof.
So yeah, what I'm kind of getting back to anyway. Sorry, we've got a really long way around it, but
Yeah.
like, if you look at like what a coach actually does, it's my job really to take a look at how teams do attack maps like
Mm.
Clubhouse and say, oh, okay, well, why are they opening that angle at the bottom with a garage with Hibana? Like, why are they getting garage control in the first place? Why is that important? Like, what does that allow the attackers to do? What does that prevent the defenders from doing? And a really big like opening for me, I guess, as a coach was when we went to Epic 26, and this is when I pretty much just joined Horus. And Epic 26 is a
Yeah.
UK LAN event, a small UK LAN
Yeah.
event, if you're not
Obviously,
familiar.
I've seen Epic 27, Epic 26, Epic 28 is coming up as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. Epic 28 will be really good. There's a really, really, really big like sect of UK Siege like that's coming to play. We're not going to be at 28 this time, which is a shame. But hopefully
Yeah.
we should be there for 29.
Oh yeah.
The less said about 27, the better, because we had a few problems at Epic 27. Needless to say. But like what I was getting back to with Epic 26 was it was an opportunity for me to meet like Gig and the other guys from Navi, and at the time Fonkers was playing with, well, it wasn't Navi then, it was Eminem.
Yeah.
And you know, when we played a game versus them it was like in the group stages, because we didn't actually get to play them later on in the tournament. We lost to Lucendi. But during that stage and after that stage, I was talking to Fonkers about operators, etc., and like why we banned what we banned against them on the map that we played.
Yeah.
And his like insight as to why people ban certain things and the way that people can kind of influence a map and the way that the map is being played out was like, it was like
Yeah.
revolutionary for me, really. It really did like flick a light switch in my head. And I don't know, it was really interesting. I felt like that was one of the main deciding factors that made me really want to stick at being a coach, because I moved across from Xbox as a player.
Yeah, that's what you
I've got
see
like
about
intense
most
play.
PC pro players and PC CL players, and you know, just people who play comp in general on PCs. They've switched from Xbox, or they've been on PC since day one. You never see PS4 players.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, you do. Well, who
Well,
knows, a PS4
sometimes, yeah.
player? Yeah, there's a few, but like, yeah, like I mean, the thing about Xbox is that Xbox was very different mechanically. Obviously, you can't lean without aiming, and people are less accurate unless they're cheating and using M and
Yeah.
K because of shit. But if they're not doing that, then obviously with thumbsticks, it's much harder to aim accurately. So
Yeah.
certain tactics become a lot more viable. And I remember the biggest thing that I had to learn when I moved across from Xbox to PC was not to just wide swing on everything,
Oh
because
yeah.
on Xbox you can get away with that because nobody can actually aim, but when you try and do it on PC, you just get bullied and punished every time. So yeah, like it's one of these things that like when I like went to Epic 26, obviously it was a real big thing for me because it's my first LAN event, and I've been to a few more since then.
Yeah.
But the
Obviously, you've
main
been
thing,
to Prem event. Have you been to the past two Prems?
yeah, what the live finals?
Yeah, the live
I
finals.
actually haven't been to any of the Prem live finals. I will be
Ooh.
going to this one
Yeah.
that's coming, but I haven't been to the previous ones because there's always been something in the way. Like I've always had other commitments or something,
Oh
and
yeah.
not been able to go. Obviously, we'd have liked to have played the last one, but we had an unfortunate situation, so we didn't actually get to finish. Regardless, anyway, your boys beat us, so
Yeah.
they got to go instead of us. But it's always nice. The UK Prem finals has always looked like an event that I'd really enjoy going to, and I always do. Obviously, watch it like the live feed anyway,
Yeah.
the Twitch stream. But yeah, it's this time obviously we were hoping to be playing in it. What with the changes to the prize pool and stuff like that, it's a really big deal, which is great for the UK Siege
Yeah,
in general.
yeah.
Like UK Siege community having such a big prize pool in its national league is amazing. Like you cannot really ask for any more than that, and hopefully, you know, it continues to be the same for the next few seasons, and hopefully for many years to come, it can just grow as a community.
Yeah, obviously we did touch up on this last week. Like, obviously things such as Prem are really good for the UK scene. Also, community leagues. I did mention this before. Yeah, if you want to branch into comp, you can always enter these community leagues such as Brutal League. Obviously, it's £20 to enter, and well, you may get casted by me. So, see when season 2 rolls around, make sure you secure yourself a spot. But yeah, stuff like that is really good for branching people into competitive play. Obviously, other things such as, you know, I don't know, really, like, my comp career was very short. Played in 2 Prem promos. First one, loser bracket, won a few games. Second one, never won a game of promos. Mainly because I got put up against the same people, and we knew these people, and they were they're friends of ours. Well,
Right.
Their best player was a friend of ours, and they just smacked us every time because we weren't a team. We were doing it for fun, but at the end of the day, just pog.
Well, I think that's like fine though, isn't it? Like I think
Yeah,
that with things like the promos, it's really important to remember that as much as there is going to be like very serious teams and teams that have organizations and stuff like that competing, there's also going to be room for other people who are less experienced or have less comp experience in general and
yeah,
are just sort of coming along and having a go. And I think that that's like really good. It's so important for teams to do that. If you go into something like the promos with the mindset that I just want to have a go, I want to see what it's going to be like, I want to see if this is something that I would enjoy doing and that I could take seriously, there's
yeah,
no risk element to it. You just show up and you just play, you get as far as you get, and the closer you get to the top, arguably the better the teams will be that you
yeah,
play against. And I think that's really important because it does give you like really good experience as a player. It gives you the ability really to decide whether you want to continue and go down a competitive path. And as a coach, I think it's actually really good to be involved in teams that do want to do things like the promos and like things like Ignis League and Brutal League, like other
yeah.
small leagues like that.
And
They're
ESA,
perfect. ESA as well. ESA is really good. Yeah, like
yeah,
so we actually were going to play in ESA.
yeah.
We like did the first qualifier for that. I
Mm.
actually played in it. Me and Fresh both played in it. That was actually wild. That, but at the
There it
same time,
is.
we wanted to have like a little go, and we thought, it's a good opportunity to on a weekend or whatever.
Yeah,
Can't remember what the actual play days are. It's through the week, I think. But
yeah,
the qualifiers were on a weekend, so we thought, we'll just come along, have a go, to see what the lower teams and stuff were like, and sort of have a bit of a laugh with it. And we had a really good time. Like the qualification for us, we didn't take it very seriously. We were playing weird
yeah, yeah.
strats and
I,
nothing
I,
like
get,
that.
I get what you mean. It's like sometimes playing weird strats just messes with people, and that
Yeah,
causes to win. It's
and I
beautiful.
will say there is some really solid teams in there too.
Yeah,
So there's a like what you have to think is we were playing like 60 hours a week and we were really really confident with what we were doing. Like we had strats that were like nailed down in the bag, and as much
yeah,
as I didn't have a main five playing it, the other people were obviously familiar with what we were doing. Like myself, if I play and we're playing our set strats, I know the strats because I made them. So like
yeah,
I have an understanding of where I should be playing and stuff. And these teams were taking like 4 or 5 rounds and stuff off us. There's one game where I was getting flustered. I was thinking, fucking hell, we're going to lose to these. Um, and
yeah,
then afterwards, I was like, fair enough. At the end of it, you look at the table, they qualify. They end up in the league, so that's the fair play to them. I
yeah,
think it's a really big step, especially ESA being an underage league as well, in terms of it's
mm,
not 18 plus only
yeah.
like a lot of leagues are. It's really important that you do have leagues that are 16 plus because it allows for
It allows for the younger talent to get into it. Whereas the time they do come around, they can't find teams to be picked up by and show what
ESL
they've
leagues
done.
like
Yeah,
etc. Yeah, well, like, there's leagues like Benelux where it is 16 plus as well, and like those are actual, proper certified national
yeah,
leagues. People, if you play in Benelux, then you're a tier three player that plays in a tier three team, and that's all like a really big aspect actually of like reaching Challenger League. Is there's a lot of teams like you probably see it sometimes on Twitter, people asking for like tier three scrims, tier two scrims,
yeah,
etc. And what the tier league system basically is a way of identifying how experienced the team is and what level they play at. And it's like, obviously, if you're a good team, you know all the other good teams around your bracket or whatever. But at the same time, there's other teams that you're less familiar of, or teams that play outside of your national league,
yeah.
but play in others. And because of that, you need to have a tier system.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so like tier three is actually quite an achievement. There's a lot of teams that will turn around and say, okay, right, yeah, we're a tier three team, but they're not, and that's like dubious. I'm not really going to go into it, but at the same time, like an actual tier three team is like actually really quite a big step up
yeah,
because they are in a national league or they are playing like go for but coming in the top so many teams like the top four on a regular basis,
yeah. And
and
obviously, teams
it's
such
hard.
as teams such as like, well, I mean, pro players, tier one players like Pengu and all that playing Go Force, obviously for
Yeah,
fun.
that's
But like,
exactly right.
if
Yeah.
you're keeping up with the teams that they're in, then obviously you're doing something right.
That's exactly right. And I think that obviously there is an individual player skill element to every
Yeah,
single game of Siege, right? Like if you're a bad player, then it's much harder for your team to win, right?
yeah,
So coaching obviously comes into that that as well, and trying to get people to improve their individual play. But I'm really glad that you talked about like Pengu and stuff in the Go for. Oh, sorry, one second.
So good. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a good. In the meantime, hello Ivy, hello Milk, hello Lerg, hello Bellet, and hello Bugs.
Oh, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I had to just.
It is
cancel
all
the phone,
good,
but yeah,
Omerta. It
it's
is
going off in the background.
all good.
So what I was saying before I kind of cocked that up was that I'm glad that you brought up mentioning people like
Yeah.
Pengu and Leon Gids, etc., playing in the Go for, because it actually brings me on to kind of my next point about coaching, really, and coaching for teamwork, because those players individually, right, are amazing players, but if they're
Yeah.
playing with their friends or they're playing as like a pickup team for the event, they're just going into that event of the Go for to have fun and to play and try funny stuff and play for kills and not play it as if it is, you know, the invitational final.
Yeah.
And to play against those players, I remember seeing, I think it was PLG, I was coaching at the time, which had Weston, who did play for us. It had Chef and Poisey, who's in the chat.
Ooh.
They were playing, and they played versus Leon Gids. I think it was Excured
Yeah.
as well, who was at one point in T3H Academy. Yeah, it was like I remember them playing them, and it was a really close game. You know, like I think it ended on like I think it went overtime actually. I can't remember if it did or not, but I'm pretty sure it went overtime. It's a really close game, and for them, it's really really important, like a real eye-opening moment to be like, you know, I played against Leon Gids, and you know, I killed him like a couple of times. You know, and you know, we like won some rounds, and like that's really important, especially for like these players within the Go for like cups who like that's the highest level they play at, or that's as far as they've looked to go, or they haven't quite qualified for a national league. I think that's really cool. And like in terms of like coaching as like for teamwork, which I was going to move on to before I distracted myself, they let's say Penguin and Leon Gids are playing together, they have a lot of experience between them, and they have like the experience to just say, okay, right, yeah, I'm going to hold this, you do that, you know, no problem. They just have the understanding. Whereas,
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like obviously if they do
me
have
and you made a
yeah.
team, mate, and we're like, let's have a go, right? And we're just pissing about. It's not quite the same.
You don't want to make a team with me. You just
However,
don't.
oh mate, is that a challenge? We'll do it. We'll create a
Fine,
toxic
sure.
team for the
Let's go
weekend.
for it. Let's
mate.
go for
Easy.
it.
So like, essentially, like, when it comes to the like you know, coaching for teamwork, it's a case of getting everyone to be on the same page, and it's like trying to get everyone to move as like one big part of like
as a
equal
unit
parts of one big machine. Yeah, that's right. And like Go for teams, they don't normally have that level of like
Bugs is just putting chat Meme Academy Ft Omerta. Oh yes.
yeah, exactly.
I miss Meme Academy. OG Meme Academy was amazing. I mean, come on, you had me, you had Jill, you had Ralph, you had Bugs, and you had Fraser. Shit was hilarious. we had a win streak of 3.
Actually, speaking of Jota, right? Like that guy.
He's a gunner. He's a fucking gunner.
Sexiest voice. I don't
mate,
care if
he has the sexiest voice in mate. Mate,
voice, like.
Twitch rivals. Twitch rivals. Man goes in, fucks up everyone.
I think he's really good. Yeah.
It was like, unfair.
He's exactly right. The sort of player that like needs an opportunity. You know, like. I know at the moment I'm pretty sure
he's playing for a team. Yeah, he's playing with a team with a Gonny. I don't know who else is in the team.
Because I don't know if it's the same team that Ivy was playing for before, but Ivy was really happy with that team, and he basically joined us as a sixth after the LAN event because, you know, well, we just kind of picked him up. It was one of those things. It wasn't intentional. Like, he came to cover for another player, but he ended up joining us as a sixth, and now he's got himself a fifth spot. And for a player like Ivy, that's like really good, you know. Like he has a lot of experience. If like it's like around his level and just under National League level.
Yeah.
And he is ready now to move into National League. And when he does play with us and we play against other National League teams and higher, he puts in a good shift. You know, he doesn't look out of place.
Yeah.
He looks like he plays really well. That's the same for Jay. I think if Jay was given a similar opportunity, he's, you know, another good player who would.
I legit join Jay's games and Ralphie's games. And I'm just getting carried easy.
Yeah, Ralphie's pretty good as well.
Yeah, no, they obviously have played in teams before. If I recall, NSG, they used to play in NSG together, and and obviously they do have potential, and like comp is still viable for them, and they can still do it.
Oh, they should definitely just do as much as they can. That's right.
I would really love to see CJ and Ralph in a a good composition. Obviously, like I've not been a Siege player for that long. Like I'm coming into my second year. Well, actually, yeah, no, I started at the end of year 2, and I've been in Siege for like a year and a half now, like playing the game.
Right.
And obviously, I've met so many people in teams and stuff, and like just the experience I've had over the past like year and a half, meeting these people, like learning more about comp, it really does give you a deeper understanding of the game, and it's not just ranked. It's just
it's not run around collecting hits. There's quite a bit more to it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I love playing games like Battalion, right? I play a lot of Battalion just as like a battle game, right?
Honestly,
I can just run around and just click heads. And
I love fuck around games. Like recently, I've been playing Borderlands. I bought Borderlands 2 nights ago.
Borderlands 3.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love it.
I haven't played it yet. I'm really looking forward to playing it.
I was playing COD beta last night, and I played it on the closed alpha on PS4 because my friend had because it was open, and I have a PS4, and I just got the 14-day trial, made another account because I wasn't buying a month's of PlayStation because I know I wouldn't play it. I also played in the beta for the PS4 last week because my friend gave me a code. But the fucked up thing is it supports mouse and keyboard.
Really?
Yeah. So
large on there. Like, poor little Derek's come over from school.
That's how it was. It's cross-platform as well. So I was playing with my PS4 friends last night. Honestly, like
it's all cross-platform.
Yeah, it's cross-platform. There was an X. The
closed beta.
We could play with PS4 people and Xbox people.
Oh, holy shit, I'm going to love
that.
Right, get it installed. Give me a code.
I didn't get a code. That's the thing, is I pre-ordered the game and I didn't get an email with any codes when other people did. I would give you a code if I had one. But, it's open on the 21st. But as well as like...
End the podcast, mate. End it. We'll be on it, Competitive COD player now.
What I was saying is like yesterday I was playing my PS4 friends, and just out of nowhere some Xbox guy was in our game. I was like, wait, what? So it was PC players, PlayStation 4 players, and just one singular Xbox guy. He was actually slaying. I was like, wait, what?
I can't wait for them to do a Switch release, and you can just be Billy. He's sat on a fucking bus.
Billy on the bus.
Fantastic.
It's great. But another thing is like obviously that's good, and I would love to see Siege at that, but no, that would never happen. It'd be too unfair.
Because you would never get a game because Xbox is just 99.9% DDoSing nowadays.
Yeah.
So if that came to computer,
no, all that DDoSing I've seen recently on Twitter and shit. My God, I'm so happy I'm a gold player. It doesn't happen to me.
It happens everywhere. That's the unfortunate reality.
Yeah. I've only been DDoS once, and it was by a guy called Slebin.Giphy, but it wasn't the real Slebin. I was like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
I can just imagine Slebin giving it large. Super powered booter.
Yeah. And we might want to get back on topic anyway. Obviously, like I would also, what activities, we've mentioned a few activities you do with your team, such as watching VODs together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so like kind of getting back on track. Like VOD review I think is a really important aspect of any team, right?
Yeah.
Because what that allows you to do is it allows you to essentially see what mistakes you've made and how you can improve your stuff that you're doing wrong, but also it allows you to see what other teams are doing, which helps to shape like the meta, right, of like what you do. I think it's like another aspect of coaching is also a like analysis work, and obviously some teams have separate analysts and separate coaches.
But obviously, if a coach and an analyst, like if a coach can do analytics as well, that's just 2 in 1. But obviously, you still want an external analyst. But like if you have both skills, then that makes you more valuable as a coach.
Yeah, I think a coach should have
some form of. of
Yeah,
each.
just so it's an understanding, right? Because
Yeah.
you could have the best analyst in the world, right? But if you can't actually interpret what any of it means, then it's
Yeah.
really hard. And on the flip side, you could have the best spreadsheet and data in the world, but if you literally only play casual with like Billy and the boys, who's playing 20 games a month,
Is
then
Billy
it
gonna?
doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. Like you could have the best analysis
Yeah.
possible, but you can't do anything with it. So this is exactly like why VOD review is really important.
Yeah.
Because not only is it reviewing your own stuff, but you can look at what another team does. And if an analyst, like a specific analyst, like our analyst Weaver, if he looks at a VOD, he's looking at what a team's doing and viewing it in terms of how to beat it, right?
Yeah.
If I look at a VOD, I'm thinking, oh, right, this is a cool thing they're doing. How could we do something similar, you know? Like,
Yeah.
what are
Like,
they
how can
doing
you
this for?
implement it
Yeah,
into
like something, if it's the same or
your
something
routine?
similar,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. It's more about trying to improve. And I think that before, if you go back quite a few seasons now of competitive, in terms of, when I say competitive, I'm talking about like kind of pro league rules. I think you could kind of get away with being a little bit of like a one-trick pony. Like you'd be very good with a specific pool of operators.
Obviously,
And
that's the thing as well. Is like obviously there's gonna be default strats for like every team. They're gonna have the same default strat, but that's only because like you know in some qualifiers it is like teams like to reserve their actual strats that they make up and that think
yeah, for
will
sure.
work. And like obviously that's a good thing because you're not
Yeah.
showing your strat, but if you're
Well, it all
gonna
depends really, doesn't
yeah.
it? So like this is it's interesting you say that because I'm not going to make any excuses, but we played Epic 27 and we were shit. Like there was 4 teams and we were last. But at the same time, it was really important to remember that it was during the Premiership season, and we
Yeah.
made a decision as a team that we were going to go to Epic 27 and we were just not going to play anything that hadn't been seen yet on stream.
Oh yeah.
So what we did was we said, okay, our map pool is going to be these maps, which was Clubhouse because we played it versus Wind and Rain, Border,
Yeah.
which was a map that back then we didn't actually really play, but we played it versus Navi because, well, we
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure it was banned versus Exilium. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
obviously with a league
Obviously,
format,
obviously the thing about maps such as like Border and Oregon, that's I thank everyone that was removed from the map pool. I hate Oregon. That
right
still
now,
gives me
Tristan is crying that you're saying this.
mate
Respect.
PT.
This is
It gives me PTSD. The first time I played in Prime Promo, fuck me, we played against the same team that I told you about earlier when we were having a little pre-show discussion. This was the spring promos, not the summer promos, and we played against the same team then, who were under something else, and they played Oregon, and they actually fucking smacked us.
Oregon's a difficult map. Like, it's difficult in a way that it's like near enough the same every time.
Yeah.
Like, if you understand how to attack an Oregon, then that's it. Like there's just pretty much set things that you can do, and there's nothing that they can do about it. And it comes down to winning gunfights and getting multiple angles on certain players, that like little choke points within the map.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's been removed. Yeah, because it's like it's less fluid and less adaptable than some of the other maps that are in the pool. So
yeah, that's the thing though. It's like seeing most maps, I don't get why they're in the pool because, like, you know, maps such as, well, let's say, right, Oregon. Yeah, it's less of, you know, getting. It's more vertical play, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to say it in a way that I would understand and not sound like a bot, but I am sounding like a bot right now.
No, you're not at all. You're right.
Yeah,
What
but
you're saying.
Like
Oregon does have vertical play. Like Oregon doesn't have like vertical play in terms of like buck play really, but it has vertical play in terms of
like outside vertical play as well.
Yeah, that's right. When you hold certain areas, you need to have a presence on the top floor. You cannot hold it horizontally.
Yeah.
Where you have like one guy in one room that's holding an angle onto this room, etc. Not unless you're playing kitchen, for instance. But if you do play it that way, like you really do put yourself at risks because you're having a player play in a spot where he can't rotate and he's just stuck. So like if you look at the kitchen site, for example, it is really as simple as opening a wall and planting a bomb. That's kind of what it is. And in order to do that, you've got to move a player who's playing inside bathroom.
Yeah.
So you put a player in the bathroom. To get a player out of bathroom, you just throw some frags and hopefully kill him, or just push him with the player. And he can't rotate out because there's a guy in the window. So like, because of that map itself is just not great. And obviously, when you play like at the higher levels and you watch it in Pro League, it plays out the same as when it plays out versus like lesser teams. It's more about understanding what they have to do to kind of get control of what they need to do to be able to plan, rather than a map like Clubhouse, which is, there's lots of different ways to play it. You could roam, you can turtle, you can play horizontally, you can play, with different bans that dramatically impact the way that the map plays.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like maps like Clubhouse is a good example of a map, because if you ban Capital on Clubhouse, you get a situation where you can quite comfortably play in Garage. So you can control Garage like a lot more easily than you could perhaps do it without Capital available. And if you know that you're playing against a team who want to take Garage control from you to attack CCTV cache, and that's the only way that they're going to be able to get that wall off, to stop you from bandit tricking or to get rid of a Kaid, Claw, or whatever, then it makes it very difficult for them. So rather than using something like a Capital, if it's banned, they might have to use something else like a Montaigne. And this is where the experience element comes in, right? The more that you play, the more that you scrim, and the more that you play better teams, the quicker you learn to adapt, and the easier it becomes to get further and further. Because what you do is you get put in situations where you don't have something you need, like Thatcher, for example. And you go,
I
right, well,
get
I'm
what
gonna
you
play
mean.
Clubhouse
Like
with that.
essentially, Thatcher is a crutch, and like it's like removing that crutch when like Thatcher is removed. But obviously, there is ways to replace a Thatcher.
That's
Like
right.
if they
It's having the coordination to do it and having the experience to say, oh, right, well, we don't have that, so we have to do this. And the other team, then you're playing against the other team's ability of saying, okay, right, well, we know they have to do this because we banned this.
Yeah.
So, like, if we use Thatcher, for example, if they cannot just Thatcher off the wall and Maverick's also banned, then they have to take Garage control, or they have to take stock control, lounge control, and bucket, do you know what I mean, to stop them from doing that thing. So it shapes the way that the map is played, whereas Oregon, for example, is not really like that. I mean, you could argue the downstairs objective is when they introduced like Kaid and Mute and stuff like that. If you banned Thatcher,
But
then
obviously,
to get that off. But,
when they did introduce Kaid, it did bring a new dynamic. But like, it's easy to get rid of the Kaid in a sense because you can just pull out an IQ if she's not banned and a Maverick if he's not banned.
Yeah, that's right. There's so many
get it
ways.
on hatch.
That's the good thing about Siege is that people
like it's
before could get
variation.
away with-
Yeah,
that's right. It is all variation, right? Because people before could have a certain way that they did things, and now because of coaching and analysis work, teams have to be a bit more adaptable than they were traditionally. Like there were some teams that got very far based on the fact that they had a very good Ying player, or they had a player who was really good at Glaz, or they had a good Shield player, and it became a really key part of their strat. They had a Mirror player that was unbelievable, a really good Echo player. But then obviously when Pick and Ban came in and people had to be more adaptable, some of these teams kind of dropped off a little bit, or they replaced players, or they changed the fundamentals of how they play. And I think it's really interesting, and that's something that's very unique, I believe, to Siege, because there's no protect mechanic like there is in Overwatch. I mean, if we talk about operators for a minute, like I'd imagine that even though that you yourself would say, okay, I'm not a competitive player because
like if we're moving into this, I think I know what you're gonna start.
However, I feel like you'll probably have a lot of very good ideas about what operators are good and which ones aren't, and like why you would use a certain operator. So because of that, I think it's like it's really clear how ranked, like having the pick and ban in ranked, I'm not a huge fan of it because I feel like it makes
it does limit the game, and also like
does.
they try to push more of a competitive play style, if you get what I mean, because like if you know ranked, I'm not trying to downsize people, but like a lot of bottish things get done.
Oh yeah, especially by me. Yeah, I love it. Like, it's a window I can jump out of without bet your ass.
Oh my god, the most bot. It's not even a bot thing, but like I bring this up all the time because it gives me a slight ego boost. Like like some things I pull off are just fucking stupid. Like I've spurts where I play good for like a couple of weeks, but then it just falls off for like 2 months. Then I'm back to playing good again. Like my prime of playing good in ranked was that one time I got 4K with Valk.
Valk's so fun. She's my favorite operator in the game, hands down.
Honestly, the people I was playing against were legit fucking bots because I got the kill onto a guy, then I baited with a C4, I think. I can't remember, but like I threw a C4 out, then the sledge decided to run up. I was at the other side of courtyard on Hereford. I run out, kill the sledge. The Montaigne does nothing about it. I go back and reload, run outside, knife the Montaigne, and fucking snap to the an IQ who's repelling with a deagle and kill her.
Sounds like you're a bit of a gunner, mate. That's what it sounds like to
Nah.
me. Sounds like you had a better gaming chair than all of them put together, and you had your gaming socks on for that occasion, I think.
Yeah. Like, honestly, shit's whack. It does help that, when you got, the big boy refresh rate and, it just everything comes in faster.
Yeah, I wish I had the big boy refresh rate. I'm actually currently stuck playing on 60 hertz because I still haven't
Mate,
to actually upgrade yet.
trust me, you don't need the big boy refresh rate. My friend Crosby, absolute fucking gunner, still plays on 60 hertz. He scrimmed against Empire and took them to fucking 7-5 and shit.
Wow, fair play. What an absolute gunner. Yeah, I mean, some people can gun on 60 hertz. I can't because I'm 28, so my like actual.
Don't talk rubbish. I mean, alright, you are a gunner. I refuse to believe so. You're probably a better gunner than me. Because you're at least plat. You're at least plat. Let's get that.
It's like my job, really, to play
Yeah,
Sims.
yeah. That's a stigma. That's also a stigma I hate. Is when people, like, players call coaches and casters and all that shit. When they call all these people in these professions, such as, like, analysts, coaches, casters, shit at the game, and they think they're going to be shit just because of that. It fucking annoys me.
It's really tough, right? So
Yeah.
for me, I came across as wanting to be a player because I was a
Yeah.
pretty good player on Xbox, and I moved across
Yeah.
thinking, okay, yeah, like this is gonna be better because it's more balanced. You know, I haven't got to play against mouse and keyboard, etc. Because I will have mouse and keyboard. I'm on the same level now.
Yeah.
It's like level playing field, and also, the competition level is much higher in my opinion. So,
Oh yeah,
because of that,
obviously,
push
yeah.
myself further. But when I moved across, like after a little while, I just decided I actually genuinely just enjoyed coaching more than I did playing. So
Yeah.
because of that, that's kind of where I'm at. However, I've got like 5,000 hours or something.
Yeah.
Playing
I've only got
dreadful.
like 1,500 in like a year and a half.
Yeah, I reckon at least 4,500 of my hours are T hunt, mate, on Xbox.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's what I'm getting at though is like it to say, okay, right, oh, is this guy's a coach or this guy's an analyst, so he must be shit at the game. It's wrong because there's a lot of
it's
coaches,
a stigma.
Like I'm going to use Gig as an example, right? Gig is an unbelievable coach. He does a load of analysis work for Navi, and he has a large reason as well as elegance as to why they are where they are, right? But he also played Prem in the first season under Wind and Rain, I think it was, if I remember rightly. He is a really good IGL. He came from Xbox, and he was a good IGL and a good player over there. And he does play ranked and stuff like that when he does play. But I'm pretty certain that if you were to chuck Gig in a scrim with pretty much anyone who would turn around and say, "Okay, a coach is, you're shit because you're a coach," or whatever, he'd be the best player in that team.
He just fucking
it's just like yeah. So it's one of these things like. Comp is very different. For me, I find it hard sometimes to play rank because I just hate brain dead play. Like I am the epitome of a brain dead player. Like I run around like a monkey and jump out of every window possible. And I pretty much like I just play like an idiot because that's what you have to do in rank. I think in rank to win. But like if it's a scrim, then and I have to fill because a player's sick or a player's got work or something or another commitment. Then I actually tend to do pretty well when we play in that environment because I have a good understanding of like what I need to do and where to position myself. And what people don't think realize sometimes is that at the highest level of play, a lot of the kills you get are like free kills because you've just got one guy holding an angle on a guy who has to rotate past his crosshairs. And unless that guy is like actually joystick, he's just never going to win the gunfight.
So, joystick. That's a good. But, he's an android. Like that. People refuse to believe that guy isn't an android. Like
he's a bit good. Him. Like,
he's a tad bit good. Tad bit good in the game.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah.
He's okay. He's I've seen better. That's just a big meme.
Actually, the flip side to this, though, if we're going to discuss Empire, look at Dan. Dan came in from the ranked community, really. Like he played obviously with all of that lot as well. Obviously being Russian too, and when you look at time zones and stuff like that, and obviously the skill rank that he played at, like he was obviously a big name within like the Russian community,
Yeah.
and he came from ranked to being, you know, in the best team arguably right now according to the statistics tables,
Yeah.
like in the world globally, and winning a major, and also being the player in the tournament. Being like the number one player of the tournament of his
Yeah.
debut tournament, like
Just-
like debut LAN event. So it's just like it's insane that you,
I
you
mean,
do have these players from ranked who
yeah.
just come in and they're just like
Some
fit
people are just
perfectly.
naturally fucking insane, such as Bolo. Obviously, he did play in CCS and all of that, but like naturally, like guy picked up the game, just fucking gunner, and now he's in
Oh, yeah, he's
TSM.
nuts.
He's
Yeah,
in
he's nuts.
TSM,
Like,
and like that's a big org.
as a coach, I watch a lot of
Yeah,
other teams' VODs.
yeah, a
One
lot of
team
pro
I
league,
like to watch.
CL.
Yeah, like one of the main teams I like to watch is TSM, because when they joined this pro league season, they were arguably kind of a bit iffy in some areas, and you could see
Yeah.
where they were going
But
a bit
obviously,
wrong.
it wasn't like a new team. Like obviously, we would have been
No,
playing
there's a
before
lot of
they.
experience in there as
Yeah,
well.
it wouldn't. It would have been playing before the announcement and before like they made their debut. But like at the same time, if you think of it, for the first few games they didn't have Bolo because he didn't turn 18 till like the next couple of
Yep.
weeks.
Oh, even when they had him though, because
Yeah.
like as much as Bolo is a really good player mechanically, his experience level is not that of like a pro league player. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have the same experience as Canadian, but at
Yeah.
the same time, he brings other things to the table, and like I like to watch them because you can see the improvements that they make week to week. It's actually quite incredible to see.
I haven't really
play
watched.
one way.
Yeah, like but obviously I don't watch a lot of NA. I watch more EU because like we're in that like region and that's how most of the players
Yeah,
play.
for sure.
But like it's interesting to see how it differs. But like obviously, like I've heard a lot about LATAM and how it's such a more fast-paced game.
Yeah,
I've heard some crazy shit from LATAM.
LATAM used to be very aggressive, and it used to have this kind of mindset of like full map control, roam everywhere, run around, do whatever you like.
Yeah.
So an operator like Vigil, when Vigil launched, just really fit into their playstyle. An operator like Alibi also really fits into their playstyle because of the way that they play and their ability to play like a roam heavy game, or at least hold vast sections of the map. Operators like Lion become really key counter strategies to that. So people will look at a league like LATAM when Lion launched and be like, "Oh right, well they just bash meta because
Just
play Lion,
oh shit,
oh
shit, yeah, we
but they have to, because that is the best way of dealing with what the other team are playing like. LATAM is a region that I really like. It's no secret I'm like a bit of a Black Dragons fan. I have been for ages. I used to love the old Black Dragons, which is now the new NIP roster. And I've always had a little bit of a fondness for it. And like I used to love playing Glaz when Glaz was completely batshit and broken, because he was batshit and broken. But I got a lot of that influence from players like Zephyr, from at the time Vitality, and now plays in MCS, as well as the Latin American counterpart really of like Psycho for NIP. And I remember watching the Pro League finals that were in Brazil when it was Ents that won it. When at the time Black Dragons, which are now NIP, won a game of Clubhouse by literally just dropping 5 people down kitchen hatch. One was a Montaigne and one was a Glaz.
Sick.
And like Psycho just dropped and got 4 kills with Glaz. Like they just literally dropped, put a shield down, a guy planted behind the shield, and Psycho just was in a room full of smoke and got 4 kills.
People don't think it right.
Against like Penta, which is now G2. And
But
I remember watching that and being like, "That's insane!" And it was so like inspirational to me to do mad stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you go into your rank game, you copy it, you lose, you become.
I've never copied that. But like on defense, I was playing Tachanka once. I got an accidentally picked Tachanka. Like this was before random pick was a thing. I meant to click someone else. I accidentally clicked Tachanka and I had the shotgun on in the PMM, and I ended up getting an ace with a PMM.
Wow.
I was like, wait, what?
It's like Tachanka is unplayable. Okay, like he just doesn't do anything in the highest competitive setting. He's not good. However, the fact is, like, I don't feel like he needs to. People are always saying like,
he's a big meme. I mean, first meme academy. First meme academy. Fraser fucking bangs out a couple of 2Ks.
Well, the
I'm like,
Spanish nationals the other day we saw. I'm going to call out Welshie now because I watched him get banged by it. But it was Movistar
yeah,
Riders, who were a very very big Spanish team. They were playing against it was Ramboot Club, and they were playing Cafe, and both teams brought Tachanka. The game obviously didn't matter because of the points. Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Lamb finals had already been decided. But it was interesting to see them play it, and it became like a bit of a meme, and it changed the game in a, I don't know, probably not a positive way for the game, I guess.
It's
But
not
it was
positive,
still
but
cool.
it's funny
Like,
as
you,
fuck.
you can you can't tell me that anyone is watching that round thinking, what is this Tachanka gonna do? Like, is he gonna, and then when he gets one, be like, yeah, fucking hell.
Yes,
Wow,
the
like, that's the best
memes.
thing. So
Uh,
it's I like the fact that it's a bit like that, like, and it's not
mate,
annoying either.
honestly, like the thing is as well is like ranked and all that shit. I do some fucked up shit. Like the other day, I was playing his Twitch on what's the fuck Clubhouse? Yeah, talking about Clubhouse. I was playing his
Yeah.
Twitch. And I was gonna go into small tower, and I seen that, and I broke the window, and there was a frost above on the small tower catwalk. I just fucking flicked to her head, kill her, say fucking bot, jump in and get frost matted.
Yeah,
I
that's
just died laughing. I was
she's
like,
just the better player, mate. That's
oh
the
wow, throwing shade, man. Yeah, but
there's a thing that like the professional casting community says,
yeah,
which is, oh, he's been outskilled, and they always say you're outskilled if you fall into a frost mat because
yeah,
it doesn't matter how good you are, but you've been outskilled because you've done it once.
yeah,
Just
because you
they're just
just
a better player because they put a mat down.
just big brain, 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm a lethal frost. You don't want to play against me on frost. I'll put them anywhere.
I don't want to play
I
against
swear to
any frosts.
Like,
Let
I remember
them-
like watching Western Stream not long ago, right? And he was playing on border. I think he was playing with Tom actually. He was playing with Tom Odd, I think. And I just said to him like, mate, put a frost mat in here, put one down there, put one down there. That'd
Yeah.
be really funny. And he did it, and he got 3 kills.
Hmm.
Like, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. But we're running a bit short from the time frame,
No
so
problem.
we're gonna just pop in a few segments we like to do in the show. Obviously, the main
Yeah, sure.
part we've talked about for 50 minutes. It's went so fast.
Yeah. It's quick, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I like to ask, games you're excited about, things like that, general things.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
we talking about like stuff from outside of Siege, like just any
Stuff from
games?
outside of Siege, and like anything, like if you're excited for new things coming to Siege, anything, like DLCs, fucking games.
Right, okay, excellent. So, in Siege, I'm excited for them to fix broken shit like Lion.
Yes.
People, I still think he's dumb. Outside of Siege, I'm really excited for the new set that comes to Magic the Gathering. I play MTG Arena all the time. People probably don't know this about me, but I'm a big old geek who likes card games, so I'm excited for that. It's going to be
Mate,
cool.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Blood, innit?
Exactly, mate. I will definitely shank you for a Blue Eyes White Dragon, man.
Mate, I had 3 of those, and they got stolen.
I didn't have any because unfortunately when I was like at school that like I don't know, I guess I was too cool for school really to have any of them because I was a bit old, I think.
Yeah.
But now I'm like an actual legitimate adult, I've got to act like a kid and play card games.
Yeah.
When it another game that I'm interested for really is Cyberpunk. Obviously
Obviously, yeah, that's a big one.
That looks sick.
I don't know, you've heard about Outer Worlds, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, that is going to be good. It's Fallout in space.
Shit. I also saw at I-65. I saw. I don't know if this is under NDA or not. I don't think it is. Because it was at an event, so it can't be. But I saw Watch Dogs 3. Like a lot of games.
Oh, Watch Dogs Legion.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
No, it's not under
I
NDA.
literally knew nothing about it, and I thought, oh, that's actually kind of sick.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Games obviously for us every week. New COD, especially with the beta rolled around. Amazing. I can't be excited for Borderlands because I've got it. Like, I'm excited to play it more.
I'm excited for it because I've not played it.
Yeah. Cyberpunk, Outer Worlds. I don't know. Code Vein. I really want to play Code Vein. It's basically Dark Souls, but just vampires and shit. It's weird.
Sounds cool to me.
Yeah, it's
Is
pretty
it a FromSoft game as well?
cool. It's Bandy. Namco.
Oh, okay.
I think it's from software. I don't know. I think
From software, then that will be good because it.
I mean,
will
it's
be Dark Souls. With
it's
vampires.
literally. It looks exactly the same as Dark Souls with a more cartoonish approach, but like what I mean,
Sign me up.
yeah, and obviously it's pretty cool. Other things we can talk about quickly. anything you would like to shout out, anything you've got coming up, maybe personal streaming, all that shit, you know? Meme Academy with Omerta.
Yeah, we go do that. No,
Yeah, I'm
well,
down. I'm fucking down.
yeah, I'm probably down. It depends on my schedule, but I think
Yeah.
I'm probably down. I'm always down for.
Depends on my
down for a
schedule
bit
too, because of
of
Brutal League and games I need to cast.
Yeah, for sure. That's a difficult thing as well because obviously when I book, because I book all the scrims and stuff like that for Horus as well.
Yeah,
versus,
yeah.
Having to go off players' schedules and that.
That
If you have
was-
a free day, then it's like, oh,
yeah.
we'll do something else. You know.
Yeah, that's what I did. Literally, I was just like, "Yo, any teams want to let me spectate their scrim and just record it for myself?"
Yeah, I would have loved to have been like, oh yeah, sure, man, you could do that because
Yeah.
it saves me. It saves
I
me.
did it for-
the teams that we
yeah.
scrim. They don't allow spectators. So
I did it for well, I think it was Flashpoint at the time. That could never be released, but still, I did it because my mates let me do it. I was like, sure, why not?
oh, cool.
Then they joined Fact.
Ah, yes, they did. Yeah, because that's yeah, like 'cause
Prophet
Flashpoint
and
are still in-
Zeus.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, because they were PLG and then
Yeah.
it moved across to that. Yeah, I
Mate,
really like those guys.
the-
Lovely guys.
Yeah, they are, but like the thing is as well is one of our other friends called King. He wasn't of age yet, but he was gonna be set for the roster next year properly. Then
That's
they two left. Then the team ended up disbanding, unfortunately.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, but obviously he's got a team with his friends now, and he's gonna see how far they can go. It's a good lineup. It's a really good lineup, and they are good players. They just need to hit 18, and they're just
Yeah,
waiting for
that's
like two
right,
of the
yeah.
players to hit 18.
Get
And
into the
that's-
Brutal League.
yeah.
Give everyone the willy in a 16+ competition. Done.
Easy, just show your talent and potentially get picked up. Like, I mean, he's an insane player. Like that whole team I've seen are insane players.
There's
And like,
some really good underage players.
I'm really humbled to know some of the players that are like, because I know they're gonna go somewhere. And obviously, I've seen Prophet get further from when he started in Operator Select. If you know who they are,
I'm not familiar with them.
it's a
sorry.
very small. Well, I don't know if it's a smaller, but like he used to be in that org. Then he got picked up by T4H Academy, but then he didn't. He left that, I'm sure. Then he joined Egadal Esports.
That T4H Academy ended up going on to be PLG after the lineup
Yeah,
that was
half
like
of the
Chef,
team. Yeah,
Chris and yeah, all of that lot. Yeah, that was yeah.
but obviously it was
That's
Egadal, and he was in a team with Vitaline, who now plays for Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from that's all I would like to say about that. And if there's anything you would like to do, say it now. There's your time.
I don't think there is anything really. I
No?
suppose first I've got to shout the boys out. I've got to shout out the Horus Academy boys as
Yeah,
well because
yeah.
they've been working really hard. If anyone doesn't know that we have an academy team, then you should definitely check them out. They are currently playing in the second division of the Finnish Esports League.
And
the
obviously,
ranked league.
you
Um,
recently
and
picked
they're
up a.
doing well.
Well, it wasn't recent. It was like last month, the month before. You picked up a stream team as well.
We did, yes.
You've
Yeah,
got
we
Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk is a gunner.
Oh
is
yeah,
a-
he is.
He is a good dude.
He was in the same. A couple of months back, I was in Highlight R6 video. He was in the same one. He was right after my clip. It's funny.
Oh, what a gamer! Obviously,
Yeah.
got to shout Lonnie Lightning. He is a top shagger.
Oh,
There's nothing I can really
yes.
say about Lonnie. You just have to watch. All I want to say is you just have to watch Lonnie, and then you'll decide for yourself whether he's for you or not. But
Mm,
he
yeah.
probably is for you because he's for most people. Like he's a funny dude. He
But,
works really hard.
yeah.
And, he has real potential to go real far.
Well-
I also want to shout out Ellswood if I can. because
Ellswood.
That
Sure,
guy
whoever
is
you
a
want.
funky dancer. He gives it large on a daily
Yeah.
basis. So fair play to him.
Is that? Just asking that. Is that everything you would like to say? Or is there any more?
No, mate, that's it. Yeah.
No. Anyway, obviously, yeah. That's been LambCast for tonight. Anyway, Omerta's been here with me. Thank you for coming. Obviously, I'm not joined by Squeaky and Gas Eyes. Gas Eyes obviously will return in the next couple of weeks. Squeaky, I don't know about him. But yeah, apart from that, we're 200. Well, we're 2 follows away from 200 on Twitch. So yeah, then maybe Facecam LambCast will be a thing. And apart from that, yeah, it's been a good show. Thank you, Omerta, once again. And it's been LambCast. And good night.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Cheers.
good, man. Good night, guys.